ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಶುಭ ದಿನ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ. ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪಾರ ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡಿರುವ ನಕ್ಷತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಗುರುತಿಸಿ ಸನ್ಮಾನಿಸುವ ಸುಸಂದರ್ಭ ಇವತ್ತು. ISLE 2022 ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ಆತ್ಮೀಯವಾಗಿ ಬರಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಾನು ಸ್ಮಿತಾ ರಂಗನಾಥ್. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಸನದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸೀನರಾಗಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ISLE ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ 2022. ಇನ್ನು ಈ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ನ ಮೂಲ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಹಾಗೆ ಲೆಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ನಡೆಸ್ತಾ ಇರುವ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳು, ಸಮಾಜಮುಖಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾದದ್ದು, ಅದರ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಏನು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲದರ ಕುರಿತಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಶೋ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡೋಣ. VT ಪ್ಲೀಸ್.
The first international summit for leadership and excellence in education. ISLE Awards 2022. Inspired by India's role model, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Enriched by the Prime Minister's National Education Policy 2020. Driven by Karnataka, the first Indian state to adopt NEP 2020. Propelled generously by the remarkable scientist Padma Bhushan Nambi Narayanan. Bolstered by the finest in corporate leadership, edutech, entrepreneurship and English language training. Ignited by the passion of Dr. Karthik Narayanan, a tireless believer in India's emerging potential in edutech and rural education. The future is edutech. The future is ISLE. The first ISLE Awards for Leadership and Excellence in Education 2022.
ಇನ್ನು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಭಾಗ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳನ್ನು ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭ. ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆನ್ನೆಲುಬಾಗಿ ನಿಂತಿರುವವರು ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಶ್ರೀ ಬಸವರಾಜ ಬೊಮ್ಮಾಯಿ ಅವರು. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗಮಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಲೆಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ CEO ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ್ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಅವರು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳನ್ನು ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೋರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿ ಪದ್ಮಭೂಷಣ ಶ್ರೀ ಎಸ್ ನಂಬಿ ನಾರಾಯಣನ್, ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ISRO. ಹಾಗೆ ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಂಡಿ ಕಾಲ್, ELT ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಷರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ UK. ಇವರ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸರಿ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಟು ದ PMO ಶ್ರೀ ಪವನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಸೇನ್. ಎಲ್ಲದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ನ CEO ಹಾಗೆ ಇಡೀ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ISLE ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ 2022 ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ ಕೂಡ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್, ನಮ್ಮ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ CEO ಶ್ರೀ S ರವಿಕುಮಾರ್. ಇನ್ನು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಅನೇಕ ಭಾಗಗಳಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರುವ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಬೋಧಕರಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಪ್ರಾಧ್ಯಾಪಕರಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಪುಟ್ಟ ಪುಟ್ಟ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಹಾಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಅಪ್ಸ್ಗಳ ಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಗಳು, ಹಾಗೆ ಎಜುಟೆಕ್ಸ್ನ ಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಗಳು, ಆಂಟ್ರಪ್ರನರ್ಸ್, ಬೇರೆ ಭಾಗ, ದೇಶದ ಬೇರೆ ಭಾಗದಿಂದ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಮಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಶುಭ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಆದರೆ ದೀಪ ಬೆಳಗಿಸುವ ಮೂಲಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಅಧಿಕೃತವಾಗಿ ಚಾಲನೆ ನೀಡೋದು ನಮ್ಮ ಪದ್ಧತಿ, ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಚಾರ ಕೂಡ. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲಿರುವ ಅಷ್ಟೂ ಗಣ್ಯರು ದೀಪ ಬೆಳಗಿಸುವ ಮೂಲಕ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಅಧಿಕೃತ ಚಾಲನೆ ನೀಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ನಾವು ಈ ಲೆಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹಾಗೆ NEP 2020 ಜಾರಿಗೆ ತರೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಶ್ರಮದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದೆರಡು ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಆಡಲೇಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಸಮಗ್ರ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸ್ಥಾಪನೆಯ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಗಲು ಇರುಳು ಶ್ರಮಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರುವವರು ಲೆಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ CEO ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ್ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಅವರು. ಕೇವಲ ಅದಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರವಲ್ಲ, ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವ ವಿಕಸನ ವಿದ್ಯಾಭ್ಯಾಸದ ಮೂಲಕ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಇವರ ಪರಿಶ್ರಮ ಅವಿರತವಾಗಿದೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ನಾನು ಆಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ನೀತಿ 2020 ಅನುಷ್ಠಾನಕ್ಕೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಾಡು ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದರ ಸರಿಯಾದ ಸರಿಯಾದ ಅನುಷ್ಠಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಹಗಲು ಇರುಳು ಶ್ರಮಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಲೆಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕೇವಲ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಮಾತ್ರವಲ್ಲ, ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರು ಹಾಗೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅನೇಕ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಷನ್ಗಳನ್ನು, ತರಬೇತಿ ಶಿಬಿರಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಆಯೋಜನೆ ಮಾಡಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಮೊದಲ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆಯಾಗಿ, ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನದ ಮೊದಲ ಹಾಗೆ ಅತಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆಯಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ISLE ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ 2022. ಇನ್ನು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ನೀತಿಯ ಕುರಿತಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಧಾನಿ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಕೇಳೋಣ.
साथियों, 3-4 साल के व्यापक विचार विमर्श के बाद लाखों सुझावों पर लंबे मंथन के बाद राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति को स्वीकृत किया गया है. आज देश भर में इसकी व्यापक चर्चा हो रही है. अलग अलग क्षेत्र के लोग, अलग अलग विचारधाराओं के लोग अपने व्यूज दे रहे हैं, राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति को रिव्यू कर रहे हैं. ये एक हेल्दी डिबेट है. ये जितनी ज्यादा होगी उतना ही लाभ देश की शिक्षा व्यवस्था को मिलेगा. ये भी खुशी की बात है कि राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति आने के बाद देश के किसी भी क्षेत्र से, किसी भी वर्ग से ये बात नहीं उठी कि इसमें किसी तरह का बायस है या किसी एक तरफा कोई झुकाव है. ये एक इंडिकेटर भी है कि लोग बरसों से चली आ रही एजुकेशन सिस्टम में जो बदलाव चाहते थे वो उन्हें देखने को मिले हैं. वैसे कुछ लोगों के मन में ये सवाल आना बहुत स्वाभाविक है कि इतना बड़ा रिफॉर्म कागज पर तो कर दिया, लेकिन इसे जमीन पर कैसे उतारा जाएगा. यानी अब सबकी निगाहें इसके इम्प्लीमेंटेशन की तरफ है. इस चैलेंज को देखते हुए व्यवस्थाओं को बनाने में जहां कहीं कुछ सुधार की आवश्यकता है, वो हमें सबको मिलकर के करना है और करना ही है. आप सभी राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति के इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में और उस काम में सीधे तौर पर जुड़े हैं और इसलिए आप सबकी भूमिका बहुत ज्यादा है, बहुत अहम है. जहां तक पॉलिटिकल विल की बात है, मैं पूरी तरह कमिटेड हूं, मैं पूरी तरह आपके साथ हूं.
ಪ್ರಧಾನಿಗಳ ಈ ಮಾತಿನ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿಯ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಮುಂದುವರಿಸೋಣ. ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳು ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಬಸವರಾಜ ಬೊಮ್ಮಾಯಿ ಅವರು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಉದ್ದೇಶಿಸಿ ಮಾತನಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ISLE ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ನ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿರುವಂಥ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯ ಇಸ್ರೋದ ಖ್ಯಾತ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟು ಆದಂಥ ಪದ್ಮಭೂಷಣ್ ಶ್ರೀ ನಂಬಿ ನಾರಾಯಣಜಿಯವರೇ, ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸರಿ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ನ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಆದಂಥ ಶ್ರೀ ಪವನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಜೈನ್ ಅವರೇ, ನಮ್ಮ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ನ ಮುಖ್ಯಸ್ಥರು CEO ಆದಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರಾದಂಥ ರವಿಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರೇ, UD ಟೆಕ್ನ ಶ್ರೀ ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ್ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಅವರೇ, UK ಇಂದ ಬಂದಂಥ ಶ್ರೀ ಆ್ಯಂಡಿ ಕೌಲ್ ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅವರೇ, ನೆರೆದಿರುವಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಅಭಿಮಾನಿ ಬಂಧುಗಳೇ, it has been really a pleasure to be one amongst the policy makers, the educationalists, and the children who are the future of this country. Education is a natural character of a human being to get educated. It might be a structured education or a non-structured education. The inquisitiveness in the genes of a human being triggers 101 questions, and those further trigger the gateway for the knowledge. It has been the endure of the human beings for last so many centuries to find a perfect education which can answer all the issues and problems on this earth. But however, I feel perfect education is not the solution. It is not one-time solution to all the problems. Problems are temporary. Today's problem need not be there tomorrow. It's a dynamic situation. Similarly, the education policy should also be very, very dynamic, very flexible, and very easy to learn and easy to propagate. That is what exactly has been the efforts of all the great educationalists, including your Rao, under whom the new education policy has been framed. In India, we have got a traditional way of learning, where it is almost a vertical silos. But human brain has got such a capacity, it has been always been underestimated. The capacity of our brain cells is not yet estimated to its fullest strength. As per one survey, the normal man uses 6 to 7% of the capacity of the human brain. And a man with a IQ, a better IQ, uses 10 to 12%. But very few people who are really genius and scientists like Nambi Narayanan, they use the brain from 20 to 25%. Still 75% of our brain capacity is not utilized. That means we have got vast scope to acquire knowledge, acquire the right kind of knowledge for the betterment of a human being. The God-blessed species are human beings. The longest living species on this earth are human beings. We had a very, very large animals than human beings, dinosaurs and others. We have got fast-moving animals. We have a very, very lethal animals. But however, human is the greatest survivor. And people say that probably human race is one of the races where it'll be there till the entire world exists. Human being will be the last species on this earth. Laya. Why is this so? The greatest quality of human being is adaptability. We adapt to any situation. Man live in houses, man lives in forest, man lives in 46 degrees Sahara Desert, and men live in minus 46 degrees in Siberia, which no other species can, because of the quality of adaptability. Therefore, we have to use this quality of adaptability in education. Not only the physical adaptability, man is very strong in mental adaptability. So we should have the element of adaptability in our education policy, where children can adapt so many issues in education, so many spectrum, the wide spectrum of education, and there should be a very, very smooth transmission of knowledge, very smooth transmission of knowledge without stress. There has to be a stress relieving element in every step he rises in education. As there is a stress relieving element in when we do two welding rods, stress is created and the stress is relieved. Similarly, when a student goes from one step to the other, the stress relieving element is a very, very important. That brings in a smooth change over from one level to the another level. That makes things very easy for adapt. And that is that adaptability element I have seen in new education policy. It is not only the flexibility in the new education policy. In new education policy, there is so much of flexibility. After 10th, after 12th, you might have studied science in 12th, but you can take commerce in a degree. From commerce, you can do 1 year, and second year you can do in science. There is a great flexibility in inter-education levels. But at the same time, the element of adaptability from one spectrum to the second spectrum is also made very easy in new education policy. This enhances the learning capacity of a child to the fullest extent. Because of this fundamental thing which has been there in NEP, I had decided that we should go ahead and adopt NEP. We have started from higher education because it's very easy to start up there. This year we are starting from Montessori to up to 12th standard. Karnataka is one of the first states to adopt NEP because I want my boys and girls to be knowledgeable, to face any situation, not in their life, in country's life. There was a time when a man who had maximum extent of land ruled the world. That's the story of Alexander. He conquered one state of the other, one country of the other, to become an emperor of the world. Then came 15th, 16th, 17th century, where a country or a person who has got capital and he has got little knowledge of business ruled the world. That's the story of a Great Britain. because they had capital and business in their hand. But 21st century is neither a man who has a large extent of land nor the capital. It is the era of knowledge. A person who has got knowledge will rule the world. A country which has got knowledge will rule the world. You can see a paradigm shift in the levers of power. Earlier, any premier used to come to India, used to come to Delhi. His first visit destination was Delhi. Now things have changed. Of late, we have seen Prime Minister of Britain, President of Russia, all these people, they come to Bangalore. And they not only come to Bangalore, they don't come to Vidhan Sabha. They visit the campuses of Infosys and Wipro. That is a paradigm shift towards knowledge. Every premium of this country wants their own country to be a very knowledgeable. Hence, India is a mother of all kind of knowledge. India is a mother. A lot of countries doesn't have their own capability of knowledge-centric society. India, from its ancient times, where there has been exploration, experiments for the knowledge. We had one of the first universities in the world. We were the first people to adapt in the Stone Age. We were the first people in metallurgy. We are the first people in mathematics. There are so many achievements in our ancient India. And now the world has turned into a global village, as we all know. Therefore, a student from Karnataka village school, government school, ultimately has to compete with a student in America, in UK, Europe, Far East, all these countries. Therefore, we have to prepare our children to such a level where they can compete internationally. The competition is no more local, it's all global now. That's why our Prime Minister has been giving a lot of emphasis right from new education policy, skill development, make in India, giving the highest support to ISRO scientists, science. The best part of our Prime Minister is he has been a greatest champion for both science and spirituality. Science and spirituality are two sides of the same coin. Spirituality inspires science, and science gives analytic proof of spirituality. Therefore, our endeavor of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is the right perspective and the right path towards making India a great, strong, vibrant, knowledgeable state. And thanks to even the private sector, they are playing a very important role in imparting education, not only in education, in giving skills. In different areas, they have been excellent. And their contribution has really acted as a catalyst. Just now, I am coming from one program in Malleshwaram school, where complete school has been digitalized. Every student has got a iPad, laptop. It is 100% wired, fully knowledgeable software is loaded, And there is a beautiful Atal Bihari tinkering lab. It is a model school and it's a government school. It's a government school. But of course, lot of private sector people have really joined hands to make it really a model school. So from that function to this function, for me it is a continuity of process of thoughts. And here you are giving awards to the excellent performers. It's really a great pat on their back to achieve more. Success is different and achievement is different. Success is just a path. Achievement is accomplishment. And this accomplishment is also complete when your accomplishment becomes accomplishment of the country, of the state and of the society. Hence, with these few words, I just want to ensure you that my state will be always in forefront to make Karnataka as a #1 education and knowledge hub of the country. Traditionally, we are very strong on technology. We have to improve some of our basics. This year, I have earmarked highest budgetary provisions, and for the first time, after the formation of state of Karnataka, we are building almost 8,000 school rooms in just 6 months. And I have given a mandate, all government schools which don't have toilets for children, both girls and boys, should be completed by next August 15. They should have that independence. And every block will have a higher level education school where, as I said, everything will be wired and connected. Not only the book knowledge, but knowledge to be acquired from the entire digital world to the capacity of the student. Hence, I just want to conclude, just adding one thing. For the many teachers are here, therefore, see, every child which is born has got some capabilities and talents. And identification of that capability is a skill of a teacher. Second one is, which is very general and fundamental, every child is very innocent when it comes to first standard or whatever, preschool, whatever you call. Very innocent. At the same time, that child is also inquisitive. Innocence and inquisitive are two opposite phenomena. Whenever is somebody inquisitive to know, eager to know something, he can't be called innocent. An innocent can't be really an inquisitive person. But these two qualities are there only in the children, not in the adult. Only in the children these two qualities, beautiful qualities are there. Even though they are paradoxical, they are very much there. A good teacher is one. When the child passes 10th standard or 12th standard, if that child has retained both innocence and inquisitiveness equally, he is the best teacher in the world. That is a very big task. It's not that easy. You just look at photographs when we are in baby. all baby photographs are so beautiful and innocent. But when you look at the photographs now, what a difference, because we have lost our innocence. Very simple. But a teacher, if can retain the innocence in the child, as well as encouraging it to learn, he is a very, very skilled, best teacher in the world. I'm not talking of schools or India. He's the best teacher in the world. And that should be an endeavor of a teacher. The urge of learning never ends. Once a student, we are student till our last breath. The label of student will always be there. And I'm telling all the children all over, the difference is, in school, we have got syllabus, we have got teachers to teach, then we got timetable, then we got exams. But in life, we have got first exams. From exams, we learn the lesson. Here, we learn the lesson, then give example, test. Here, there is a first test or a first exam, then we learn. To prepare for this, here, a proper way of teaching, proper way of understanding is very much essential. And whatever I have said, it can be achieved through NEP, and this is what is LIT skill is all about, and it's all about ISLE awards. And if this award has to be enhanced every year, you have to have a higher benchmarks and make it really one of the best awards to be sought after at the national level and international level. And my government will be with you in all the endeavors, whatever you do. It is not just going with you, it is not just hand holding. We will be with you shoulder to shoulder. Thank you.
ಮಾನವ ವಿಕಸನದಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ನೀತಿ 2020 ಅನುಷ್ಠಾನದವರೆಗೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಯನ್ನು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಮಹತ್ತರವಾದ ಪಾತ್ರವನ್ನು ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸ್ತಾ ಬಂದಿದೆ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಸಂಕ್ಷಿಪ್ತವಾಗಿ ತಿಳಿಸಿ ಹೇಳಿದರು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಬಸವರಾಜ ಬೊಮ್ಮಾಯಿ ಅವರು. ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿ ಪದ್ಮಭೂಷಣ ಶ್ರೀ ನಂಬಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರು ಒಂದೆರಡು ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಆಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೋರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.
Honorable Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai, Mr. Pavan Kumar, Dr. Kannada Narayanan, Mr. Ravi Kumar, and Mr. Andy Clone, and ladies and gentlemen. In the first place, I should certainly thank Mr. Karthik for having given me this opportunity to know about the Chief Minister of Karnataka. It is not just a meeting a politician or a head of a state, but what an amount of knowledge he exhibited in his speech. I say hats off to you, Mr. Chief Minister, because you have touched upon humanity, you have touched upon mankind, you have touched upon childhood, you have touched upon teachers, you have touched upon, I don't know what field you have not touched upon. The knowledge is really great, and I am sure that the state stands to gain a lot under the leadership of this gentleman. Next, I wanted to actually talk to you about the International Symposium on the leadership and education, as well as my own experience in ISRO and about the film. But I feel, I think I will take another opportunity, maybe in the afternoon I will talk in detail of all those things. But in the meanwhile, let me just touch upon one important point here. Who is a leader? A leader is a person who leads, right, from the basics of English. But here we have a leader sitting just by my side who leads the new education system in the country itself. This is the state which has adopted as first time to adopt the new education policy, which is great. Now, by this process, we are going to see certain benefits which will be learned by all the states. They will all follow the suit soon. Now, I also must mention about Karthik and Ravi. These two gentlemen are really doing some great job, which is a Herculean task, actually. It's not easy. You can say simply that I train teachers, I train students, etc. But it's a job which a lot of tough problems, unimaginable problems, but problems like social, professional, financial, so on and so forth. And they are trying their best to do this. And I should congratulate you for this task, what you are doing. And I'm sure that with the help of the Chief Minister sitting here, as well as the hard work you guys are putting, this state and the nation stands to grow to greater heights. And I'll talk to you a little later in the afternoon, and with this small words, I just want to say thank you all, and God bless you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. ಇನ್ನು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ಗಳ ಸರಣಿಯ ಮೊದಲ ಅವಾರ್ಡನ್ನು ಹಸ್ತಾಂತರ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭ ಲೆಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಿಂದ ಕೊಡಮಾಡಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರುವ ISLE ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ 2022ರ ಭಾಗವಾದ ಮೊದಲ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಜೀವಮಾನ ಸಾಧನ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಶ್ರೀಯುತ ನಂಬಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನೀಡಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರ ಜೋರಾದ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಮುಂದಿನ ಅವಾರ್ಡನ್ನು ಹಸ್ತಾಂತರ ಮಾಡುವ ಸರದಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಪ್ರತಿಮಾ ಫಾರ್ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಡನ್ ಇನ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಯೋಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ಸ್ 2022. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಪ್ರತಿಮಾ ಅವರು ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗಮಿಸಬೇಕು, ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಪಡೆದುಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಹಾಗೆ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲಿರುವ ಇತರೆ ಗಣ್ಯರು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಪ್ರತಿಮಾ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಹಸ್ತಾಂತರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಹಾಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಒತ್ತಡದ ಜೀವನ ಹಾಗೆ ಜೀವನ ಶೈಲಿಯ ನಡುವೆ ಕೂಡ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಭಾಗವಾಗಿ ಇಡೀ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಹಾಗೆ ಲೆಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಬೆಂಬಲವಾಗಿ ನಿಲ್ಲುವ ಭರವಸೆಯ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾದ ಬಸವರಾಜ ಬೊಮ್ಮಾಯಿ ಅವರು ಆಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಜೊತೆಗಿರುವ ಭರವಸೆಯನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮುಂದಿನ ಭಾಗ ಹಾಗೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ಅತಿಥಿಯನ್ನು ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬರಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಉನ್ನತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಚಿವರು ಹಾಗೆ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ತಂತ್ರಜ್ಞಾನ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ತಂತ್ರಜ್ಞಾನ ಸಚಿವರಾದ ಶ್ರೀಯುತ ಅಶ್ವಥ್ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಅವರು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಮಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಜೋರಾದ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳಿಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಶ್ರೀಯುತರನ್ನ ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬರಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮತ್ತಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ವಿಜೇತರಿಗೆ ಸನ್ಮಾನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡುವ ಸಂದರ್ಭ ಮುಂದಿನ ಅವಾರ್ಡಿ ಮಿಸ್ ಸಂಜನಾ ಟಿಎಲ್ 23 ವರ್ಷದ ಸಂಜನಾ ಟಿಎಲ್ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಎಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ಹಾಗೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರ ಕೊಡುಗೆಗಳು ಅಪಾರ. ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಬೆಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮೂಲಕ ಇವರು ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ತಮ್ಮದೇ ಆದ ಕೊಡುಗೆಯನ್ನು ನೀಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಪುಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸಂಜನಾ ಟಿಎಲ್. ಹಾಗೆ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು ಸಂಜನಾ ಅವರೇ. ಮುಂದಿನ ಅವಾರ್ಡಿ ಮಿಸ್ ಉಷಾ ಮಾಲಚೆಟ್ಟಿ 10 ಬ್ರಾಕ್ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಯ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಇವರು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವರಿಗೆ ಅವಾರ್ಡನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ನಾನು ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲಿರುವ ಗಣ್ಯರಲ್ಲಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಮಿಸ್ ಉಷಾ ಮಾಲಚೆಟ್ಟಿ. ಮುಂದಿನ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಬಸಯ್ಯ ಹಿರೇಮಠ್. Mr. Basaya Hiremat, Director at Cloud Engineering and Cloud Operations at Sabha and Metric Stream and our startup partner also, ED ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ startup partner ಇವರು. ಇದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ also founder of NOFH Private Limited. So Basaya Hiremat. ಅವಾರ್ಡಿ ಎಲೀಟ್ ಎಜುವೈಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠ ಹಾಗೆ ಉನ್ನತ ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು, ಹಾಗೆ 2013ರಿಂದ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ತನ್ನದೇ ಆದ ಪಾತ್ರವನ್ನು ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಮುಂದಿನ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗೆ ಭಾಜನರಾಗಿರುವವರು ಎಲೀಟ್ ಎಜುವೈಸ್. ಮತ್ತಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಹಸ್ತಾಂತರ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳ ಪೈಕಿ ಒಬ್ಬರು ನಮ್ಮ ಉನ್ನತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಚಿವರು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಶ್ವಥ್ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಅವರು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಉದ್ದೇಶಿಸಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ನೀತಿ 2020 ಇನ್ನು ಭಾರತದ ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳ ಪೈಕಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮೊದಲ ರಾಜ್ಯ NEPಯನ್ನು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆ ಇಟ್ಟಿರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಹೆಗ್ಗಳಿಕೆ. ಇದರ ಕುರಿತಾಗಿಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಅಶ್ವಥ್ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಅವರು ಮಾತನಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಜೋರಾದ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳಿಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಅಶ್ವಥ್ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರನ್ನು ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬರಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಆತ್ಮೀಯರೇ, ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತರೇ, ಇಂದಿನ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್. I would like to congratulate the organizers, Lit Skills and as well as the NewsFirst coming forward to organize such a fantastic event, much needed. On behalf of my government and people of Karnataka and all the people who have assembled here, on behalf of all these people, I would like to congratulate the organizer for organizing the first international summit for leadership and education. On this occasion, we have on dais the dignitaries, the former chairman of ISRO, Padma Bhushana, Dr. Nambi Narayanan, who has come all the way to be part of this function. And as well as Mr. Andy Cowell, who has come from all the way from United Kingdom. I welcome you, sir. And our Ravi Kumar, most dynamic person, the CEO of NewsFirst. I think he's been always become an enabler and a facilitator for good things to happen. Probably his platform, his channel, he's been doing an excellent thing by encouraging all the initiatives being taken by good people. Probably that kind of collaboration and partnership is really much appreciated, sir. And as well as Mr. Pawan Kumarji, who has come all the way to make a presentation on the education from the PM office. Even his presence, I welcome him, sir. The most important person, our Karthik. Karthik has taken all the interest and has initiated the Project English and the Lit Skills and the organizer. I wish him all the best, and I think this is the need of the hour. We need to emphasize more and more on leadership. Leadership is the most important thing what has been lacking. We just get into more into academic performance. We just get into the grade system. Instead of the abilities and capabilities and how we can lead, how can we lead the team and how we can be a leader and an example for the entire society or the place where we work or the responsibility what we take. It should be led within a leadership qualities. Probably in this direction, the entire education system is completely transforming, reforming and understanding what needs to be done. Probably in this direction, this summit is sending a very clear and a strong message emphasizing and giving importance to the leadership and education. I congratulate once again as an higher education minister. I feel much more responsible, and I feel extremely happy to congratulate all the organizers once again. Dear friends, as all of you know, the kind of challenges with the globalization and privatization, no more the benchmarking is not just limited to any particular place or schools. we are competing with the entire world. So we need to be the best in the world. There's no question of compromising, telling it's okay. Even if you are not doing well, we can compare with some of the worst performers and think we are better than the worst. We need to be comparing with the best people. And to get into this mindset or attitude is very important. In this direction, under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, who has been always leading from the front, understanding what needs to be done to the country, what needs to be addressed, what needs to be emphasized, what needs to be promoted, what is the need of the hour, understanding the importance is very important. In this direction, the transformation of the reforms through the national education policy, what we are witnessing is something really remarkable. Even as a citizen or as a higher education minister, I can't even imagine the kind of policy what has been initiated under the National Education Policy 2020 is really a very forward-looking. Probably since the independence, I personally feel this is the best policy what has been given to the entire country. This is the best policy related to all the sectors, not just only to education. I feel this is the best possible policy which will really enable all the more than 135 crore people to build their great future and to realize their dream through the National Education Policy 2020. So I would like to congratulate the Honorable Prime Minister for bringing out such a forward-looking policy which will enable us to compete and perform and be better than any of the most advanced country. So in education we can't compromise because the quality of education, the services, the product, since the globalized world, no product is limited to any place. It's an open market. In the open market, we always go to the best service or the best product. So nobody, when we pay, we want the best product and the best services. So there will be no boundaries. Even though how much we emphasize Swadeshi, how much we emphasize our own products to be brought in a Swadeshi concept also, people ultimately with the market dynamics, they tend to buy the best product. That is a tendency to own the best product, quite naturally. So even the services, whenever we want to get examined by a physician, we tend to go to the best physician, or a best engineer, or a best teacher. Whichever services, even the television, the best news provider, the best content provider. It's all a competition. It's not been, you can just limit anybody. You have to only watch my TV, or you have to become only my patient, or you want to be my own clients. Nothing can limit you. So always people tend to look for the best products. Probably in this direction, our education system is going to enable and ensure that entire education system will be completely revamped and to get away from the present rote learning to concept-based learning, where the real knowledge you'll be able to gain and apply. At present, we learn a lot, but we don't understand the concept. The real concept, if it is not understood, whatever you have learned has got no meaning. So the entire learning system, the pedagogy, the curriculum, the methods of assessment, the content, everything has been completely changed. Even earlier, the education, formal education in the government sector is to be provided from the age 6. Now, from the day the baby is born, the education system kicks in. Because that is a very important age. 0 to 6 is the most important age which we need to address. The real equity and inclusion can happen through a right education system. Nothing else you can give. How much you give other money or any benefits you pass on doesn't sustain. The one thing which is going to sustain and enable and empower any person, it is only quality education, not just education, quality education. So as a society, we need to understand this. We need to see our future through the institution, whatever has been established in our locality or our place. We look our future through our assets, what we gain, what we accumulate, we think we can build our future. That is an enabler. But that cannot get you everything. What you can get a good future is through a quality education. So, as a society, we need to focus more and more instead of blaming somebody. Whatever enablement and provision needs to be made, that has been made. Now, as a citizen, it is our responsibility to get into the implementation mode and how the best can be taken from the present policy in this direction. All of us need to create awareness, all of us need to participate, all of us need to take it forward, and irrespective of the bureaucracy, government, we need to take up this very seriously. If you want to help your society, if you want to help yourself, the education is the one and the only way. And we have been doing this in a right way in the state of Karnataka. We were the first people to implement the national education policy, understanding fully what needs to be done. We built the right platform, the technology platform was built, and we were able to enable the entire education system to adapt and facilitate and digitalize the entire system, so that wherever the challenges have been coming, how the implementation has been happening also, we are able to analyze and get all possible analytics and ensure wherever the challenges are there, we are trying to set it right. So I will not take much of time, but I just wanted to assure you, all of you, that the state of Karnataka has become the model when it comes to the higher education. We have set the model for the entire country, how it can be taken forward in all aspects, all verticals. Let it be in the terms of legislation, let it be in the terms of governance, administration, content, pedagogy, technology, integration, digitalization, and as well as collaborating with the industry, demand and supply, skill connect. Everything has been taken on a simple platform, and the student will know where he is, what needs to be done, what is the skill gap, what he needs to add on to build a better future. So all the aspects, not only just academically, the leadership qualities also, the power of language. We are emphasizing more and more on the power of language. So you can help himself, the storytelling, the leadership qualities, all other abilities, physical activity, cultural activity, social activity, ethics, morals. Ultimately, you become the best knowledgeable person. Without ethics and morals, what is the point? If you become self-centered, not interested, not caring for the society, not concerned about the society, you'll end up doing nothing. Only you'll become a self-centered person. We need people who are concerned and who can contribute and give back to the society. So those kind of aspects have been emphasized, and the holistic development has been given emphasis, and the changes what we have brought in the state of Karnataka has been advocated by our Honorable Prime Minister, the Amrit Kal. By 2047, within next 25 years, probably what has been initiated in the state of Karnataka will show the result in Amrit Kal. The Karnataka will be in the true Amrit Kal, which will get benefited for the transformation and the reforms what has been initiated in the state of Karnataka, will reap the fruits by the policy what is being given by the Honorable Prime Minister. By implementing, the state of Karnataka will be ahead of, not only in our country, probably in the entire world. The state of Karnataka will be well positioned and will be in the best of the best position to reap and build a great future for our fellow citizens. So with these few words, what can make the impact I just mentioned, with these few words, let me stop here. And today, all the people who achievers from different fields were called, recognized, appreciated, encouraged. That's the best thing what you can do in a leadership, recognizing the contribution, leadership. Their immense contribution recognition is very important. Probably this platform or the stage has enabled. I wish all of you all the best, sir. And in this journey, we are always there. We are always there. And we'll work together, collaborate, partner. And our state has become the best partner. Even from United Kingdom, we had 25 Vice Chancellor. Recently, we had come down to Bangalore. All the 25 Vice Chancellor from different universities, even from United States. We are now collaborating open. They don't even look up to the government now. In the university level or the department level, our professors are able to collaborate. They are able to design the MOUs very well. And they have become so comfortable. Now the delegation, they come and they just talk to the department officers and the professors. Now that's how the things have been moving in the state of Karnataka. We are very hopeful and very positive that in no time, the state of Karnataka will become the destination for education. People can look up, if they want to study, they'll be looking up to the state of Karnataka as a destination for education. With these words, I'll stop here and wish all of you all the best. Namaskara, Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. ಉನ್ನತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಚಿವರು ಅಶ್ವಥ್ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಅವರು ತಮ್ಮ ಬಿಡುವಿಲ್ಲದ ಸಮಯದ ನಡುವೆ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಆಶಾದಾಯಕ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಯನ್ನ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. ಸೊ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಮಜಲನ್ನು ತಲುಪಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟರ್ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗಮಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಕೋರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟರ್ ಶ್ರೀ ಪವನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಸೇನ್, ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ, ಇಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸರಿ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಟು ದ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್, ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಜೋರಾದ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳಿಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಶ್ರೀ ಪವನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಸೇನ್ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ.
Why I came here? Because the topic is very near to me, and the orientation that the English project which Karthik has worked for is also like I have seen personally in my life, like studying in rural background till my graduation level. I was not knowing even a single word of English, and then came to Delhi and then preparing for UPSC, and suddenly the good content in English, good books are in English, magazines, newspapers, all were in English. So then again started a new life, cleared the UPSC. Then when you are interacting with the dignitaries, when you are interacting with your batchmates at PAN level, then you realize that the communication skill is very much important. So English is a skill. English is not a civilization which we should adopt. And the way this new education policy which I was talking about, this holistic approach, the skill-based learning, the quality education which we are talking about now, I will skip some. Basically my presentation structure was for school, for kids, for teachers, and then what is the way forward for states and other things, but we'll talk about performance grading index only. So everybody knows that improving access to school education is the main motto of this. I'll go through these two examples of this Bruce Lee of Malkangiri. From rural background, again she got gold medal at 2019 state level judo competition, simply from a humble background. Then Gaganjot Kaur and Gurpreet, artificial intelligence, again studying in rural background school, and then her project were selected for top 20 winners from across the India. So this is the context when we are talking about this universal access to quality education. It is required for national integration, for social justice, for culture preservation and scientific advancement. Why we need schools in future? You can see the chart, number of elementary schools in India per million. See, as per the 2011 census, 0 to basically 15, the chart is showing male and female, but in this pyramid, in next the percentage of total population by 2036 will be for this will shift to 20 to 44 age group. So major changes from NEP, we know that now universalization of early childhood care education and national mission on foundational literacy, where we are lagging behind. 5+3+3+4 circular, everybody knows, curriculum and education of gifted children. 360-degree holistic report card is to be prepared in this education policy, where we can track students' progress. Vocational education is to be started from class 6, which is a major change in national education policy. I'll skip higher education because we are talking about school education right now. The future trends is like share of India 0.0 to 19 population on the decline, project to drop from 41% in 2011 to 25% by 2041. So overall number of school going children will decline by 18.4% between 2021 to 2051. So number of schools will rise significantly, but schools kids will be less in that age group. So nations like Japan, China, South Korea, Singapore, Canada, with similar trends have already begun that consolidation, and that's why we are here in this new education policy. Like climate change has major impact on our school infrastructures, timing and other things. So that will also will keep in our mind. So how to improve access? It's like by 2030, we will have to have universal provisioning of quality education, and then provide the integration of child with disabilities. And medium instruction, at least grade 5, will be home language, your regional language, or that multilingualism is the main crux or key factor for the new education policy. We see innovative practices from states, Bihar, J&K, Andhra, Gujarat, Odisha, Uttar Pradesh. They are taken very innovative ideas and initiatives to get more children at school. Around 2 crore people are out of school right now, and this is like your organizations or community volunteers have role to play to bring those kids in the school again. Way forward is, again, we have already talked about integration of technology. The Honorable Chief Minister and Education Minister, they have mentioned, they have illustrated very well, basically, NEP in a very short span of time. That, again, I will not go for teachers. These major challenges, we have large number of vacancies in academic. Everybody is talking about students, but what about teachers? Where are they being trained? How to improve the standards of the teacher, so that the status of substandard teacher education institutions we can see in the context of India. Teachers vacancy, see the states like elementary level, secondary level, then in teachers vacancy at higher secondary level. Every all major states are showing teachers vacancies. How to improve our education without our teachers presence in the school? Many schools are running without this. This is the PTR ratio. You can see the states. This is a single teacher school. More than 5,000 schools are running in 7 states with one teacher. So these are the challenges, like poor quality programs and outcome, unavailability of trained teachers from different mother tongues, and lack of individualization in training. So teachers are very, very important to shape the future of our children and therefore the future of our nation. Now, why we need teacher-focused training, like more project-based, experimental, multidisciplinary approach is to be adopted. Personalized learning, assessment to foster talents by leveraging technology to connect, focus on access and outcome for all, and most importantly, innovative partnership between child and teacher. These are the innovative practices from states. I will not go in detail again, but you see that Karnataka is not there in this picture also. Teachers as transformer. So we need the review quality of teachers education institute first, then strengthen in service teacher education, adopt professional standards for teachers and institutionalize mentoring, recruitment and deployment of teachers. That is also very important task for good governance, for education system, for quality outcomes. Suggestions by teachers, BRC, CRC, diets during consultations. We'll have to learn from teachers. We'll have to listen to them for their outcome-based approach. So way forward is 100% teacher registry, track teacher competency, no single teacher school, and training need analysis. So provide teachers resource for introducing innovative pedagogies by adopting technologies. The new NEP Child Strong Foundation for Future Readiness. See, in Navodaya Vidyalayas, 16 students from 7 Navodaya Vidyalayas discovered that asteroids as part of citizen science project by NASA. So we don't have dearth of knowledge and talent, but only thing is that we'll have to take initiatives. This is the lady, the Kendriya Vidyalaya student Nandita and Nivedita. While Corona was there, they conducted online classes on Vedic mathematics sutras for application-based learning. So these kids needs basically some directions to follow, and they can transform this whole education system by peer learning, by experimental learning, by skill-based learning. So future of our country again depends on the teachers. That is the responsibility lies on you. Major challenges, I will say that proficiency level in the language and maths, where Karthik and team are already working. You people are also working on this issues. Enrollment of children with prior preschools experience. I'm sorry, I'm coming from Niti Aayog, so I am speaking based on my data and other national statistics. So ICT infrastructures are very much important. You can see how only few in numbers states are 100%, otherwise our score is very, very less in compared to other this one. We don't have libraries, sports materials in so many states. Gaps in coverage under vocational education. Only 30% coverage we have in India. You can see the map. So NEP 2020 provisions, no need to go through again. But why NEP is required, and this is the state where it is already implemented for foundational literacy, vocational exposure and skill, proficiency in language, scientific temper, creativity, and health and nutrition, problem solving approach. These are the basic things which we need to give to our kids to follow, to inculcate in their own habits. So these are the innovative practice from states. Karnataka also, students registered a mathematics learning program to improve skills and students registry system for tracking. The benefit received attendance, transitions, monitoring, age assessment, report cards. So the monitoring of the students are being done, I am told. I have received it from the education department. So these are the issues. Chief Minister of this state is so particular about these way forward, and he mentioned all these points which are already mentioned in this NEP. Holistic learning, foundational learning, then deeper and experimental learning, peer learning and collaborative learning. The whole crux of his speech was all these 5 words. The skill-based learning. So priority areas for states are foundational learning, use of technology and skilling, and performance grading index. Our performance, see, out of 1,000, our progress is visible on this slide, 2018-19 and 2019-20. Some of the states are coming up very well. National Curriculum Framework, you must know that it is already started, and this will deal with the role of teachers as well as parents and communities in enabling and enhancing development outcomes. I will stop here, and I'm very thankful for giving me this opportunity to talk to you, to meet you, and to get to know so many other things, good practices here. Next time, whenever we'll see, it's a good exposure for me also to come here and learn so many things. Thank you very much.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. ನಾವು ಸಾಧನೆಯ ಹಾದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇವಲ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರವಲ್ಲ, ನ್ಯೂನ್ಯತೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಗಮನ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಪವನ್ ಸರ್. ಹಾಗೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮುಂದಿನ ಹಂತ ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆನಿಕಾಲ್, ELT ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಷರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ UK. ಇವರನ್ನ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಜೋರಾದ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳಿಯೊಂದಿಗೆ.
Well, hello everybody. How are you? Put your hand up if you are a teacher. Put your hand up if you are a teacher. Okay. Put your hand up if you are a learner. It's a trick question. We're all learners. And I'd like to thank you for coming along today and supporting Lit Skills and Karthik, who tells me that I have about 10 minutes. So I'm just going to keep an eye on my watch and make sure that I keep this on time. He actually said 7, but I'm negotiating live on stage. Now I'm here from the UK to support Karthik and his vision and his relentless, tenacious activities to make change in the region, in the whole of this region, on a level that is, I have never seen anything quite like what he does across the world. I've worked in over 40 countries, meeting schools, policy makers, decision makers, publishers, distributors, teachers, students, everybody. And my background was a language learner. And let me tell you a secret. When I was learning, well, in my day, it was only French in the UK. Now you can learn Spanish and German and Chinese, and that's great. But I had to learn French, and I didn't like it. I didn't like being taught French. I didn't know why I was learning French. Nobody told me. And it was because the system was very conservative. I went to a good school. I was lucky. The school was so good that they killed the passion for learning because they were driving us to pass exams and do tests, which sounds very familiar 45 years later in my case. And I've traveled the world with publishers and with communicators of good ideas, only to find that school by school, it lands on stony ground. And it's been an interesting journey because I stand here with a real passion and commitment to anybody who is willing to make change, real change, not talk about it, not show, I don't know, the idea of change, actually getting your hands dirty, rolling up your sleeves, and finding out what it takes to help a teacher to be a better teacher. That's my job. And also for that teacher to do a very difficult job, not just teaching, but to educate the parents, because parents, again, without meaning to, can kill the learning process, because they are also, the world over, in my country as well, they are indoctrinated to belief that it all ends with the exam. But it doesn't. The examination is only a performance indicator of how that child has learned. But what have they learned? They've learned facts. But we don't need facts anymore. I've got a smartphone. If I want anything, I can look it up. It doesn't mean we shouldn't teach facts, because we need to teach our children and young learners the world around them. But how are they going to respond to what they learn? I'd like you to think for a minute, just for a minute, well, maybe I don't have that long, 10 seconds, close your eyes and think of a positive person you had in your childhood, a positive influence. Just close your eyes and think, who was that person in your life who was a positive influence? Think of the adjectives you would use for that person. And now think about a teacher. If you were lucky to have even one teacher who had a positive effect on you, close your eyes and picture that teacher, see that teacher, and remember them if you were lucky to have a good teacher. And think about what it was that made that teacher so positive to you. Were they kind? Were they passionate? Were they knowledgeable? Did they care? Or were they just simply treating you as a person, an individual? Sometimes you have it, and sometimes you have to learn it. And my job has become finding ways for teachers to realize they are not there to simply prepare students for the exam. That's the system that we have at the moment. Systems change all the time. Systems don't have to be about teaching and testing grammar. I spent a long time visiting conferences and schools, reminding teachers, English teachers who are good and creative, that we are not teaching English as a subject. Let me repeat that. Despite your best intentions, English is not a school subject. It is a skill. It is a communication skill. The beginning of this whole event began by realizing that the humans have come to dominate the earth, not because we're stronger and not because we're clever. Well, maybe because we're clever, but because communication allowed us to figure out how to take control. Communication is what separates us from others, and how we communicate makes us successful. Close your eyes again and think about the last time you had an argument with someone. Now, don't get too sad, okay? But think of the last time you had an argument. Maybe a partner, maybe a boss, okay? And think about why there was a misunderstanding. What went wrong with the communication? Have a think about it for just a few seconds, all right? And you can feel it here. You can feel it here. What went wrong with the misunderstanding, right? Now, have you noticed that I don't think I can't read your minds, but I am absolutely certain that in that miscommunication between you, your partner, your boss, somebody on the street, the miscommunication, the misunderstanding in that little relationship had nothing to do with the grammar you used. Misunderstandings, cultural and intercultural communication succeeds by how you communicate, and it does not have to be absolutely perfect grammar. Although, yes, we should teach a good way to communicate, and if we are to communicate effectively, we need to be accurate. But an interesting thing to talk about is that accuracy of your English does not make you a perfect communicator. Think again, close your eyes. Think of the worst boss you ever had. We've all had one. Who was the worst, not who, don't tell anybody, think, who was the worst boss or even the worst person you've ever met? You can be sure it had nothing to do with their grammar or their vocabulary. I'm sure their language was fine, whichever language. You've got so many languages. And you can be an absolutely horrible person in all of them, because it's not about absolute perfection with grammar and vocabulary. Yes, we can teach this. But how are you going to be an effective communicator? You're going to listen? Can you empathize? Can you influence? Can you truly respond when you're listening? And if all of this is true, then who is going to teach this? Yes, it's soft skills. It's soft skills at its most raw and vital. If you use perfect grammar in English, you can still be a terrible communicator, because that boss you had or the person you didn't like maybe was not communicating successfully with you for other reasons, being a decent person, the values we teach. So what I love about Lit Skills and Karthik's passion, there's so much we can say. I'll come back again and again to help you, Karthik, and the teachers and the schools and all these important people supporting him. Because finally, I find myself in a place where people are really interested in what it is to use English effectively, globally, interculturally. And I suppose if I'm going to use up my time to finish with a few thoughts, remember what it is to communicate effectively. Who is going to teach that? Is there a lesson or a timetable subject that says how to be a good communicator? Who's going to teach that? If the parents are saying it's your job, and I think a little bit, half of it is your job. I personally believe it is the job of the parents and the school to work together on what makes effective teaching. That's a different topic. What makes a good lesson? Doing workbook exercises, there's no evidence to say that makes you a better communicator. It tells you that you learned the grammar that day, but you forgot it the next week because we're on to the next thing. So we want students to realize that if they are using English effectively, to be more than the exam. What are you going to do after the exam? Study in English. You're going to work, maybe, using English. You're going to meet people like me on the street, lost with no language here in India, and you're going to help me in English. And if we don't remind the teachers with materials, the actual books and digital materials they see, that this is not a subject, it is a skill that will do so much for them. But we don't tell them it's going to help them, we show them how. We show them with real, practical, meaningful, purposeful activities every single day, in lots of ways. Not for the older children, from day one. And it means change. So finally, it's about rethinking how a lesson looks. It means rethinking what is a good English lesson. And I'm here with Karthik for as long as he needs me to be part of Lit Skills and Project English and whatever I can do to help, because this is not my idea. I am a messenger of 30 years, 37 years of seeing this around the world. And I want teachers to follow the evidence of what works, not the feeling of what you should do. Parents don't understand. Parents, forgive me, I'm a parent. I went to school, that doesn't make me a teacher. I had to learn how to be a teacher by training. I drive a car, but I'm not a mechanic. So with all the respect to parents, and I do mean it very diplomatically, we have to learn to be better, effective teachers of English as a global, useful, practical skill. Learn it in the lesson alongside the rules and the vocabulary, and show parents that just because it's always been one way, it doesn't mean we shouldn't change. If you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always had. And even parents believe there should be something better. And I'm just one of many people who can come and help. There are so many people like me who can come and help. And when Karthik needs them, I'm going to find them, because I can't do this on my own either. But I'm not going to let him go alone without some help from so many people who've done this before. And change is hard. Teachers like to teach. If I'm not teaching, you're not learning. That's not true. We're very good learners. Babies are doing very well, thank you, without any lessons. So finally, change is hard. It takes time. It takes commitment. And there's a final quotation I want to give to you from, I think it was a tennis player, Arthur Ashe, from the 80s, who experienced a lot of prejudice and discrimination and hardship. And he said about change, any day when you're changing something new, the message is this: start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Thank you very much.
ಇನ್ನು ಒಬ್ಬ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಭಾಷಣಕಾರ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಕೇವಲ ತನ್ನ ನಿಖರವಾದ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾದ ಮಾತುಗಳು ಮಾತ್ರವಲ್ಲ, ತಾನು ಮಾತನಾಡುವಾಗ ಸಭಿಕರನ್ನು ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರ ಗಮನವನ್ನು ತನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಹಿಡಿದಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋನು ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗುವ ಮಾತುಗಾರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಆ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡಿ ಅವರು ಗೆದ್ದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಜೋರಾದ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡಿ ಅವರ ಮಾತುಗಳಿಗಾಗಿ. ಇನ್ನು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮುಂದಿನ ಹಂತ ಮತ್ತೊಂದಷ್ಟು ಮಂದಿ ನಕ್ಷತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಸುಸಂದರ್ಭ. ಈ ISLE ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ 2022ರ ಭಾಗವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತೊಂದಷ್ಟು ನಕ್ಷತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು, ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಭಿನ್ನವಾದ ಸಾಧನೆಯನ್ನು ಹಾಗೆ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರುವವರಿಗೆ ಇದೀಗ ಸನ್ಮಾನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಇದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳು, ಈಗ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡಿ ಸರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇವರ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಬಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಸರ್ ಹಾಗೆ ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ್ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಮತ್ತೊಂದಷ್ಟು ಮಂದಿ ನಕ್ಷತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡುವ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಮುಂದುವರಿಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಈಗ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ವಿತ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನೋವೇಟಿವ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ 2022 ಸುಶೀಲಾ ಸಂತೋಷ್ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಪೀಠದಿಂದ ದಯಮಾಡಿ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಅವಾರ್ಡನ್ನು ಪಡೆದುಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.
Everyone present here, with due respects to Nambi Narayanan sir, and heartfelt thanks and gratitude to Karthik, Lit Skills, who are doing a fantastic job, We know him from past 3 years and the relentless efforts what he's putting into the school education system, wherein he's trying to create that awareness among people how English is very important to communicate, because it is globally accepted language and which is understandable across the world. Irrespective of our mother tongue, English is something which each and every one of us should know. And I admire him for the hard work, sincerity and consistency what he has got in himself to form a team wherein which that spark in him is transmitted across his team and reach out to everybody. One big round of applause to Karthik and his team lit skills also. And Vishwa Vidyapeeth is 11-year-old school which is in Yelahanka. We believe in Indian culture, tradition and values, wherein we always respect of being Indians first and then try to imbibe the value system wherein the students who pass out of our school will be global citizens and will be global competitors also. You're most welcome to visit the school, and more than anything I would like to thank Karthik again for giving me this opportunity. Thank you all so much.
ಮುಂದಿನ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಮಿಸ್ ಚಾರು ಮೆಹ್ತಾ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಚಾರು ರೈಟರ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ತಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ವಿಶಿಷ್ಟವಾದ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮಿಸ್ ಚಾರು ಮೆಹ್ತಾ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ. ಜೋರಾದ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ. ಮುಂದಿನ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ RL ಶೇನ್, ಇವರು ಫೌಂಡರ್ ಇನ್ಫೋಪ್ರೆನರ್. ಇವರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಜೋರಾದ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳಿಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬರಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ. ಮುಂದಿನ ಅವಾರ್ಡಿ ಮಿಸ್ ಅಶ್ವಿನಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. ಮಿಸ್ ಅಶ್ವಿನಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಮಟ್ಟದ ಕರಾಟೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಕಿಕ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಚಾಂಪಿಯನ್. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನೀಡಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅಶ್ವಿನಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಅವರು ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ವಿಜೇತರು ಕೂಡ ಕಿಕ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಹಾಗೆ ಕರಾಟೆ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಜೇತರಾದವರು ಹಾಗೆ 4th ಡ್ಯಾನ್ ಬೆಲ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಪಡೆದುಕೊಂಡಿರುವವರು 4th ಡ್ಯಾನ್ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬೆಲ್ಟ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಚಂದ್ರಪ್ಪ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗೆ ಭಾಜನರಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಅವರು ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗಮಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೋರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗೆ ಭಾಜನರಾಗಿರುವವರು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಎಂ ಶರತಿ ಕುಮಾರ್, ಫೌಂಡರ್ ಆಫ್ GMS ಏವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಹಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್. ಸೊ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಎಂ ಶರತಿ ಕುಮಾರ್. ಮುಂದಿನ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಕ್ಷಯ್ ನಿಗಮ್ ಹಾಗೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಕಾಂಕ್ಷಾ ಸಚ್ದೇವ್. ಇವರು ಕೂಡ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರವಲ್ಲ ದಂತ ವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪಾರವಾದ ಸಾಧನೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸೇವೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು. ಹಾಗೆ ದಯಮಾಡಿ ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬಂದು ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಪಡೆದುಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ವಿಜೇತರು ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಸುಮೋಜ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥೆವ್ ಎನ್ನುವ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ನ CEO. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಸುಮೋಜ್ ಅವರು ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದು ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಪಡೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು. ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ವಿಜೇತರು ಮಿಸ್ ಮನವಳ್ಳಿ ವೀಣಾ ಅವರು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಹಾಗೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಕಾರ್ಯವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವವರು. ಇವರನ್ನ ಗುರುತಿಸಿ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ನೀಡಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಮನವಳ್ಳಿ ವೀಣಾ. ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ವಿನಯ್ ಸಿ ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಮಟ್ಟದ ಬಾಕ್ಸರ್ ಹಾಗೆ ಕಿಕ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸರ್ ಕೂಡ 3 ವರ್ಷದ ಪ್ರಾಯದಿಂದ ಈ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ತರಬೇತಿಯನ್ನು ಪಡೆದುಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದಿನ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ವಿಜೇತರು ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ವಿನಯ್ ಸಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದಿನ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ವಿಜೇತರು ಮಿಸ್ ಅನ್ನಪೂರ್ಣ ಎಮೋಷನಲಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕೋ ಇದರ ಫೌಂಡರ್. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದು ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಸ್ವೀಕರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೋರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದಿನ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಎನ್ರಾಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗೆ ಸಲ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ಈ ಒಂದು ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಭಾಗಿದಾರರು ದಯಮಾಡಿ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದು ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಪಡೆದುಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಎನ್ರಾಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್. ಕಡೆಯ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗೆ ಭಾಜನರಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರುವವರು ಕೆವಿನ್ ಭರತ್, ರಾವಣ IAS ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಇದರ ಕೆವಿನ್ ಭರತ್ ಅವರು ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗಮಿಸಬೇಕು, ತಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಸ್ವೀಕಾರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೋರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಪಡೆದ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಖದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡ ಆ ಮುಗ್ಧ ನಗೆ ಸದಾಕಾಲ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಖದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಸ್ಥಾಪಿತವಾಗಿರಲಿ ಅಂತ ಭಾವಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಮುಖ್ಯ ಭಾಗ ಆಗಲೇ ಮಾತನಾಡಿದ್ರು ನಂಬಿ ಸರ್, ಆದರೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಇನ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾತನಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭರವಸೆಯನ್ನು ನೀಡಿದ್ರು. ಇದೀಗ ನಂಬಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಉದ್ದೇಶಿಸಿ ಮಾತನಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೋರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.
Hello friends, I think it's a closing session, correct? With this speech we are going to close it. So I really don't know what I should speak here, but let me just try to recall some of my old experiences. Actually, I joined ISRO during 1966. And at that time, we never had any rockets of our own. And all what we had was a church building and a school building and a bishop house. These are the 3 buildings what we had. And the church building was the office of all of us. And the bishop house was partially occupied by the director. And the remaining area, there was one hall. That hall, we were using it actually, myself, Abdul Kalam and C.R. Satya, Sutakar, these are the 4-5 people. So we put 4 tables joined together. We sat around all those 4 tables. So there was no specific table belonging to anyone. It's a common platform. That is how we started. And I was trying to design an explosive bolt, which is a pyro device. So on the table we put the T-square, and then I was drawing the sketch. There was no draftsman for that. So you have to do the engineering, you have to do the design, you have to do the drafting, everything. All of a sudden, somebody who came and sat in front of me by pulling a chair, and he asked me, "What are you doing?" I just looked at him. He looked like a Hindi film star, and so I didn't want to answer him, but still I somehow I said that I am designing an explosive bolt. He asked how long it takes. Then behind him, Abdul Kalam and HGS Murthy, these are the 2 people who are my bosses, were standing behind me. So I'm sitting here, in front of me, other person was sitting, behind them, the other two people were standing and showing me by symbol to get up. I didn't know what that symbol means. I assumed it is to, asking me to get up. But I was not sure, but I didn't get up. Then I said it takes about a month for the design. Then I couldn't resist myself from questioning the person. So I asked, who are you? Then he looked at me and then he said, they call me Vikram. Vikram doesn't sound anything to me. So I looked at him again. I'm not sorry, I couldn't make out who you are. Oh, my full name is Vikram Sarabhai. This was my first meeting with Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. And of course, I didn't shiver anything, but he's a boss, super boss, etc. That work of design is over. Next month when he came, I have finished that job and went to another design. And Dr. Kalam as well as Murthy were asking, that he is the chairman of the organization. I said, how do I know? I don't know. I have not met him. But even if I know, what is the matter? He is asking me what is that I am doing, like that. It only shows how carefree I was, or how I didn't bother about the hierarchy or the supremacy, without knowing or with knowing. The age was young. I didn't know the good, bad and ugly. All I knew was I am doing my job. I don't want some intruder to come and ask me what I am doing, etc. Now the same Dr. Sarabhai was a terror in atomic energy. And classmate of mine, he was in atomic energy. When I narrated this to him, he asked me, are you sure? I said, what do you mean by that? I am telling you the truth. Then he said, he is a terror in atomic energy. So I asked this question after 2-3 years to Dr. Sarabhai himself. They say that you are a terror in atomic energy, but you are very cordial and very friendly here. Then he said, I am not a terror in atomic energy, I am strict and I don't go close to the people. But in ISRO, I am trying a different experiment. I am allowing people to do, everybody to do everything. So that my basic confusion, what he was telling was that we are dealing with some subject which we don't know anything. So supposing if somebody comes out with an idea, I should encourage it. I don't want to be a blockade. So it's purely an experiment. If this experiment is successful, then we will continue this. If this experiment is not a successful one, then we will call it off. Now this is how ISRO culture, what we call today's ISRO culture, was born, where we do not show any strict approach. We do not show the rules. We do not show the so-called bossism. Or we should not show the hierarchy. This is how it started. But mind you, at that time, we were only 23 people in ISRO. 23 or 24 people. But today what we have in ISRO is something close to 20-25,000 people are there. So that is the ratio what we have. Now, in the light of this, you should imagine how we could have grown into this size from an ISRO, which was Tumba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station. That's all. A small station. Then the so-called Space Science and Technology Center was born, which is shortly known as SSTC. This SSTC was later, after Sarabhai's demise, was renamed as Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. Then after SSTC, we had some small organization called RFP, RPP. These are rocket propellant plant, rocket fabrication facility, etc. These are in and around Trivandrum. Then we wanted to launch satellites or higher thrust rockets. So we need a station in the East Coast. That is how the Sriharikota SHAR, SHAR, or which is again renamed after Dr. Dhawan, Satish Dhawan Space Center, was born. Then Professor U.R. Rao, who was controlling a satellite systems division, which is known as SSD, he felt Bangalore is the better place to have such an operation. So that is how you have the Indian Satellite Center, otherwise known as U.R. Rao Satellite Center, was born. Now I am naming three people: Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, Satish Dhawan Space Center, and U.R. Rao Satellite Center. Now these are three centers named after three legends. These three legends are really the architects of ISRO. Sarabhai was the one who started this, and he had the vision. He wanted to create a great organization. Unfortunately, he died when he was very young. And Professor Satish Dhawan is the one who was drawing the blueprint for the organization. In other words, giving a shape to what Dr. Sarabhai was dreaming about. And that blueprint is the one which brought up SLV3, ASLV3, PSLV, GSLV, etc. Now, Professor U.R. Rao is the person who gave the physical shape to all these projects. So these are three architects joined together had developed what is today's ISRO. Many people sitting here or many people even inside ISRO may not be knowing the total story, how these each centers were born, etc. I thought for the benefit of younger generation, this is also to recall how these space centers were formed. I felt it is necessary to keep you informed about it. With that aim only, I just started telling about these three centers. Now we can keep talking about, for example, when Kalam's group, I was part of the group, we were trying to do the payload integration. And we had a collaboration with the Physical Research Laboratory. And we never had a rocket. We were trying to develop a rocket of just 5 kg propellant, 5 kilogram, which has got a diameter of 3 inches or 75 millimeter diameter, which is known as RH-75. Then how we grew that RH-75 into RH-100, RH-125, RH-300. These numbers indicate the diameter. Then RH-560, then RH-1 meter. That is the first stage of the SLV-3. And that is incidentally the first stage of the Agni missile. And then we were going through next stage of development. And today's PSLV's first stage is 2.7 or 2.9 meters diameter with a propellant weight of 150 tons as against these 5 kg propellant we were struggling with. So this is the growth potential from where we started and where we ended with respect to solid propulsion. In a similar way, while these people were working on the solid propulsion, I felt the need for the liquid propulsion. we had nothing on the liquid propulsion. There is no fuel, there is no oxidizer, there is no metal which can stand these temperatures. So that is the time I felt that we should start something. So we did a lot of, shall I say, jugglery in trying to use various propellants available, xylidine, then nitric acid, red fuming nitric acid, and then aniline. All these propellants which are just because they are liquid. And we blasted quite a bit of things and then got into some working rocket, a 600 kg diameter, a 600 kg thrust rocket. That is the first flying rocket. That flying liquid rocket was launched from Sriharikota, which led to a 3-ton, which further led to a quantum jump, 60-ton, which is today's Vikas engine. Now this today's Vikas engine is first flown during 1993 and the second flight was 1994, and even today it is flying successfully. I think 54 launches were made so far without a single failure. That is the short history of the liquid systems. So we both developed, one is solid, another one is liquid. Then parallelly we had a lot of development on the satellites. We had Aryabhata, the first satellite. Second, Bhaskara, another satellite. Then we had different satellites, but we didn't name it. And today we have the capability of something close to 4 tons of the satellite. The one which is being carried into the orbit is 4 tons, 3.8 tons to be exact. So we were growing in all these areas. Now the future should tell what we should do with respect to outer space. Whether we are planning to go for interplanetary travel, or whether we are planning to go to Mars, whether we are planning to go to Moon or Venus, and how the international scenario is, whether we are talking about space station, and whether we are going to compete with Elon Musk, and all those things we have to, they are in the planning stage, in different stages. But certainly, as you all know, we made attempts to go into, not manual, but we are trying to send something, some object to Moon, and we also tried to go to Mars. But these are byproducts. These are not main projects because there is no vehicle designed to carry the required payload to these planets. But in any way, these are successful attempts which we made. So in short, I was thinking what to speak to you, but then I thought this introduction of how we started and how we ended up could be of some information to all of you. So that's how I chose this way of telling the whole thing. Hope, unless you have some questions to ask, I would like to conclude here. And see, 30 years from now, there could be a lot of changes in the world history itself. You remember that America was sending man to moon, Apollo missions. But they ended up in 1979. Afterwards, there is no moon mission they were making. They were silent. Now, I personally feel internationally, I'm not talking about ISRO, internationally there will be interplanetary travels within the 30 years. From planet to planet there could be travel, and from moon may be used as an intermediate space station, and people will be traveling to different planets, and ISRO certainly would have advanced to a certain level. And it is like NASA, ESA, it will be having its own aims and policies. But certainly there will be a space station, and that space station will have some tourist information or interest. This kind of things is what I foresee.
So my question is next to the same this thing. So according to, I work on multiple platforms. I'm an engineer. I work with the media. According to what I know about science and this thing and all space, I think 2030 is what we are going to settle in moon. Is it a reality in 2030? settling in the human settlement in moon, 2030. Is it possible?
2030.
Yeah, human settlement on the moon.
2030.
Yes, another 8 years more.
Well, I don't know. Easy to settle mankind in the moon is a question which you have to understand it properly. Moon doesn't have the environment for accepting human settlement. That is number one. Now, if you want to settle there, you should have the environment. At least locally, you have to create some kind of a chamber, some kind of a space station inside moon. I don't know the need for that. The aim is when you don't have the facilities to stay in the moon, I think we will be looking for something more. Moon will be used as an intermediate station, wherein you can have a stopgap arrangement. That's what I think. So there is no question of 2030. All through it will be an intermediate station only. That's
Thank you
what
so
I think.
much. 90 ಸಮೀಪದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದರೂ ಕೂಡ ವಯಸ್ಸು ಭತ್ತದ ಉತ್ಸಾಹ ಇದಲ್ವಾ ನಿಜವಾದ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಅನೇಕ ಪುಟ್ಟ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಹಾಗೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಂಬಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಸರ್ ನಿಜವಾದ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಲೆಜೆಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಏನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಜೀವಂತ ದಂತಕತೆ. ಅವರ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಸದಾಕಾಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಯನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ರೂವಾರಿಗಳು ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಸಿಇಒ ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ್ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಅವರು ತಮ್ಮ ವಂದನಾರ್ಪಣೆ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆಯ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಕುರಿತಾಗಿ ಆಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೋರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.
I really have no words to say what kind of a great feeling that I am having. This is the first attempt, this is the first time we are coming on a platform where we are not just inviting or calling teachers and startups and corporates. We are having some great people on the dais. Now before I begin my speech, I want all of my team members to please come forward, starting from Jibin and the entire team from Charu. Jibin, wherever you are, please come on the stage, and Charu, please be on the stage, and the rest of my team also, please be on the stage, as I want to do a special address as well. Now, it's the first International Summit for Leadership and Excellence 2022. Now, this platform is one of the biggest platforms that I could ever imagine that my team will create. You need to understand very, very carefully in what I am talking right now. The whole event, the whole entire event, the success of this event will be completely given to my team. I am just a small time person who has just done a very simple organizing and collaborating all these team members. Yeah, please come on the stage, please. So I would want to, this is what I wanted to do. Do you understand? I actually really wanted to do this because this is not just one of an event where we work with some corporates and edtechs and all these things. My way of working is very, very different. It takes a lot of time for people to understand who I am. That's the difference where I am, whatever I am today. I'm a simple common man. Now, team, this 4 people, along with some back-end team, are my team who made me think positive that this event will be successful. So big credit to them. This is what I wanted to do. Along with this, I should also share another important aspect, because there are 2 things in life. One is you should have a great team, and then you should have that person who will believe and who will support that cause and for that vision. And that support and that cause, that's for a greater cause. I will tell you what is this cause is all about, and why is the reason that we were doing this IEL Awards show. But we had a discussion. We had a discussion with a team and another team. And the team, is a very, very strong team. I don't have to give any introduction about that team. NewsFirst Kannada, NewsFirst Kannada, the entire crew, right from the CEO till the last driver who is working in NewsFirst, on behalf of my team, I actually owe you big time for supporting and making me believe that, this vision, whatever I had, will definitely be successful. So big thanks to Mr. Ravi Kumar sir And I would also want to call somebody from the NewsFirst team as well to come on the stage while I am talking. So I think Pradeep sir is there. Pradeep sir, can I have you on the stage, please? Please, sir. So this is Pradeep Hegde from NewsFirst. He is representing Ravi Kumar sir. Ravi Kumar sir was actually busy for the whole day, and he was there in the morning session, and then he left in the evening because of a minister's program. Now, all you awardees and all you schools, all you corporates, whomever received awards for an XYZ closing and whatever it is, including my vendors also, you guys need to understand, and the nation is watching, and the whole country is watching this. Ravi Kumar sir, NewsFirst, and myself, we wanted to do a very simple thing, which every gentleman and every person, can talk about this on a larger scales, but in action, in India, people talk, but action is very less. So, but we are not like that. We wanted to be a little different. I want to tell you a simple story. This story is all about a government school which is in Moodgere. Moodgere is a village near Chikmagalur, and Moodgere, that the climate of that place and the school is in such a way, it's a government school. It's got its own legacy and it has got its own history. The school has close to about 400 students today, but this 400 students do not have a roof over their head. And they do not have a classroom where they can, sit and they can just learn and get some basic education. So the intention of conducting IL Awards and the intention of bringing in all these bigger personalities was only for that school, which is sitting right over here. A team of 35 people have come from Moodgere. I would want to call all the entire children of Moodgere to please come on stage, along with Mr. Madhu. Please come on stage. You see these kids. This is the reality of IL Awards. This is the reason, this is the purpose of IL Awards. This is the blood and this is the soul of IL Awards. These children are going to be my future leaders of my country. Right? So I am very, very proud in that. Because, as I said, I don't need a designation to be a leader. I have worked with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I was being handpicked by him for doing some exceptional works in whatever field I have been doing. I earn a lot, but I do a lot. But this was very, very touching for me, because these kids, and the teachers are also here, and the entire crew is also here, they didn't have some basic facilities. So basic facilities idilla, nanage idu madakaagtilla, system sari illa, system angittu anta blame madad badlu, we thought of only one thing: let's contribute money, not as a donation, but we wanted to spend this money for constructing classrooms, which is all high-tech digital classrooms, so that these kids will have a future education in such a way that they can also be safe in that weather conditions, which bears extreme rain and extreme cold is the place, and kids cannot do all those things. Kids need a place, comfortable place to study for 8 hours. So ಆ ಒಂದು 8 hour ಓದೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದಕ್ಕೆ roof is all I did. It's a very small part. But Ravi sir agreed, and he instantly said, let's do it, and that's how we started this mission of adopting these schools. We are not talking about just adoption of schools. You would have not seen this news also in any media or any kind of print media also. I'm sure my media partners and media friends are also here. You would never find all these things. We are not those. My team and my vision was not to publicize it, but today I had to do this in the stage for a reason, Jibin. So I, on behalf of my entire team, and I would want to ask Mr. Nambi Narayanan sir, I cannot ask anyone bigger and better than him, to hand over this check amount of 25 lakhs for construction of this 10 classrooms to the school. And this platform, this whole platform was successful
only because of, my people, my team who's worked like day and night for last 3 nights, when no one has slept. So from my team's side, I want Mr. Jibin to come forward and hand over this check to Nambi Narayanan sir, so that this school kids get some life out of, whatever they are. Yeah, please come, Jibin. Yes. A big round of applause. Thank you. So, my conclusive speech is this. Small minds will always talk about others. Great minds will always share ideas. That's what I believe in. And that's what I am always into. Right? So, peru pugal ella sambadichache, panam nariya paatache, duddu tumba nodibididene, bittubididene. But end of the day, what matters is the legacy. What matters is whatever you're doing. If you're doing it in, with whole heart, with your intentions are right, even God will be standing next to you and will stand so solid that no matter whatever obstacles you face in life, nothing is going to shake you. A true example for that is this event, because I know very well, Pradeep sir knows very well, my team knows very well what all turbulences we had to face in order to conduct this event till last night. But I had only one intent. I'm doing it for a good cause. And if this good cause has to be supported, this event will happen and people will come in and we will take things forward. And for all these things, finance plays a key role. Finance plays a key role. ದುಡ್ಡು ಸಂಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಈ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ. ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ. ಆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನ ಮನೆಗೆ ತೊಗೊಂಬಂದು ಸೇರಿಸೋ ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್, ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ ನೋಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಓನ್ ಸ್ಟೋರೀಸ್. ತುಂಬ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ 25 ಲಕ್ಷ ಸ್ಟೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, 10 ವರ್ಷ ನಾನು ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಅದು ಬರೀ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಮೈ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ನೋ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಟ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆಲ್. ವಾಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾನ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾನ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಈಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್. So media is required, for positive media is required to bring out something positive for the society. Adakke NewsFirst is the only media, the best media, which has brought in some amazing real-time stories, about me as well as about my projects, about all the achievements, whatever I have done so far in this. So big thanks to NewsFirst, number one. Then, when I say team, everybody is a team for me. So I don't have employees in my organization. If I hire somebody, I hire future leaders, because I want to make sure that I don't want people to follow me. I want people to be leaders, because that is what the leadership is all about. So I create leaders. I give an opportunity to, be the best leader. For that, you need to undergo a lot of things. Tough times, bad times comes and goes. We need to wait and we need to see, what is the end is going to be, because you never know. Miracles do happen sometimes. And this is a genuine thing which I wanted to do. Right? And the last and final person whom I wanted to thank is my brother. He unfortunately is not here. His name is Raju. He has not just stood by me as a wall. He has believed me and he stood by me during all my turbulent time. Nan ಕಷ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರನೇ ನಿಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಅವ್ರಿಗೊಂದು ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. wherever he is, I'm sure he will watch this. And friends ತುಂಬ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಒಂದು ಗಾದೆ ಇದೆ, 100 ಹಸು ಇದ್ದು 10 ಲೀಟ್ರ್ ಹಾಲು ಕರಿಯೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ 1 ಹಸು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು 10 ಲೀಟ್ರ್ ಹಾಲು ಬಂದರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಆ ಥರ ನನಗಿರೋ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿ, ನನಗಿರೋ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಬಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಣ್ಣ ಒಬ್ಬರೇ. ಸೊ ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಮ್ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್, ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ವೆಲ್. ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿಸ್, all sincere thanks, because people have heard my speeches. People have already know who I am, what is my track record and everything. Only one thing I want to request all you teachers and all you people who are sitting in this event room. I'm sure you all come from various aspects of life. You would have had some tough times and you would have had some best times. You would have had some flourishing times and good moments and bad moments also. End of the day, let's not, my only advice or my only suggestion is, let's not cheat anyone. Let's not cheat anyone financially. Let's not insult anyone financially. Let's not insult or let's not, bring down someone just because of money. Because money today is nothing. You need integrity and you need value first. Let's be a good human. Only if you're a good human, money will automatically come. Once we create a name, do something very big. Do something very big in such a way that the entire nation, entire country gets benefited. There is a community which should get benefited. Now this is the community which is getting benefited today for this event. So I'm happy. So my mission accomplished. My mission was not to make money out for myself. My mission was to make sure that I make money and I do it for a cause like this, through a God like this. So this is the best thing that I can do. And let's just be good humans first, and things will automatically fall in place. Once again, sincere thanks to NewsFirst team. I really, with bottom of my heart, I'm thanking you. Thank you, Pradeep sir. And appa, romba nandri vandirukku. Na kooptu, you came all the way for me, and you have spent your whole time here. And these children who are standing left and right to you are the children of Government High School in Mudagepura, where this event was the primary reason to help these kids. So I rest my case here, and thanks a lot. God bless you all, and Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka. Thanks. All the awardees, please come back of the stage. And we can have a quick one photo session where I have all the leaders with me. And before that, I have one trophy and one certificate to be given to Mr. Jibin. Jibin, please come forward.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಇನ್ನು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗಿಯಾದ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ವಿಜೇತರು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದೇ ವೇದಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಫ್ರೇಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭ, ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಫೋಟೋ ಸೆಷನ್. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಭಾಜನರಾದವರು ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ISLE ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ 2022 ಮುಕ್ತಾಯಗೊಳಿಸುವಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭ. ಒಂದು ಮಾತಿದೆ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಅಂತ್ಯ ಕೂಡ ಹೊಸದೊಂದು ಹುಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಹೆಜ್ಜೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅದೇ ಭರವಸೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಮಂದಿ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಿರುವವರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ನೀಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಇದೇ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದಿನ ಬಾರಿ ಅಂದರೆ 2023ರಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ನೂ ವಿಭಿನ್ನವಾಗಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಈ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರುವವರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ನೀಡುವ ಹಾಗೆ ಅವರ ಹುಡುಕಾಟ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಈ ದಿನದಿಂದಲೇ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭವಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಕಡೆ ಭಾಗವಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗಿಯಾದ ಅನೇಕರನ್ನ ನಾವು ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನು ಸಮರ್ಪಣೆ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕಾದ ಸಂದರ್ಭ. ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಪರೋಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ಭಾಗಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದರು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಶ್ರೀಯುತ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು, ಹಾಗೆ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಶ್ರೀ ಬಸವರಾಜ್ ಬೊಮ್ಮಾಯಿ ಅವರು, ಹಾಗೆ ಉನ್ನತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಚಿವರಾದ ಶ್ರೀಯುತ ಅಶ್ವಥ್ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಅವರು, ಹಾಗೆ ಪದ್ಮಭೂಷಣ ಶ್ರೀ ಎಸ್ ನಂಬಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ್ ಅವರು, ಹಾಗೆ ಆಂಡಿ ಕೌಲೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಶ್ರೀ ಪವನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಸೇನ್ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ನ CEO ರವಿಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು, ಹಾಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ, ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಜಾಗವನ್ನು ಒದಗಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟವರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಹಾಗೆ ISLE ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ನ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನು ಸಮರ್ಪಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇದಾಗಿತ್ತು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ವಿಶೇಷ. ಕ್ಷಣ ಕ್ಷಣದ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರಿ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್, ಪ್ರತಿ ಕ್ಷಣ ನಿಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ.
ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್.